Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and we're bringing to you a continuation of our 1979 Mets replay. This is game 125, 126. I gotta double check that. I believe it's 126. And let's see if it tells me. Using Baseball Reference, doesn't say what game it is. All right, Mets were 52 and 73. So 52 and 73, that would be 125. Game 125 against the Cincinnati Reds, and it's going to be Fred Norman facing Craig Swan. Craig Swan for the Mets was 14 and 13 with a 3.29 ERA. He was the ace of the 79 season against Freddie Norman. Freddie Norman was 11 and 13 with a 3.64 ERA, so not too bad. Now let's get rid of, I don't know what kind of sound I got going on in the background here, but I got to get rid of it. There we go. All right, and what we're gonna kick up a notch is the crowd sound. No, we're not doing that. Having some technical difficulties with the sound. Okay, got rid of that. Now let's get the crowd noise up a little bit. And we're using Payoff Pitch. We're using cards, fast action cards. We're using the 10-inch iPad for iScore to keep track. You can see the field there in front of you. You can see the lineups over here on the left. Leading off for the Reds is Doug Collins, in right field. Joe Morgan batting second base. Dave Concepcion, shortstop, batting third. George Foster, the cleanup hitter, in left field. Johnny Bench batting fifth. The catcher, Dan Dreesen at first base, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Ray Knight, the third baseman, batting eighth. Geronimo, the center fielder, and Fred Norman is the pitcher. And here goes. Let's get started right away. So ballpark call, it's going to be in play, and it's going to be a line drive base hit for Doug Collins, who is a threat to steal. He has 16 stolen bases and 9 times caught. So he's going to be on at first. We're going to pull a card to see. His jump is 4, and we got a 4. So he's going to be going against our 3 catchers. So it's a C3, and a C3 is going to mean that he's normal, and it's going to be stolen base plus a potential error. So the rule on that is, I don't have that memorized, but it's not hard to find. Let's see, potential error, roll 1d6 if higher than the catcher's E rating while thrown to the outfield. So Alex Trevino's E rating, oh, he was a 2-arm, but it doesn't matter, the whole thing, it would have been the same. Alex Trevino is catching today for the Mets while Johnny Stearns is at first base. And Alex Trevino has a E1, which is the worst possible E you can get. So it's going to be, unless we pull a 1, we're going to look right here, it's a 4. So it's going to be a stolen base. There he goes. There he goes. And he is safe at second base. And the throw gets away from Flynn. High throw, which Flynn reaches for, but goes into the outfield. And Collins is going to hustle over to third on an error charge to the catcher. So we got nobody out and a runner on third already. Wow. Okay. Not what we were hoping for, but it is what it is. All right, Joe Morgan, left-handed batter. The infield's playing back for it's too early in the game. It's going to be 11. That's patient. Morgan is patient. And 69, that's going to be a ball that's driven into the gap. And that's going to roll to the wall. Scoring easily as Collins, and Morgan is in at second with a double. So back-to-back hits against, do that again, back-to-back hits against Craig Swan. And Morgan is at second base. Concepcion batted .273 versus righties and almost 400 bats. It's a tough pitch. See what Concepcion can do with it. Not very much. He goes down swinging. One down. Next up is George Foster. Foster hit 30 home runs. Batted .297 versus righties. And that's a tough pitch. 88. And that's a ground ball shortstop. Taveras is going to look Morgan back to second, fires to first, and gets Foster. Johnny Bench with 2 outs. Morgan takes his lead off second base. Craig Swan looks in for the sign. Bench batted .272 against righties. Here's the pitch. Defense 78. That's too high. It goes up to 63 and 61. So we're looking at an error first base. Well, it's not going to be an error because it's out of error range. So it's going to be a line drive to the first baseman, caught by Johnny Stearns at first today. And that'll be all. The Reds leave one, score one, and at the end of half an inning of play, it's 1-0 Reds. Fred Norman, left-hander, pitching against Frankie Taveras. It's a wheelhouse. Taveras, 12 is going to be line, base hit, center field, frozen rope for Taveras, and he's on at first. He's always a threat to steal, but we're gonna. He's a C. Johnny Bench has a heck of an arm, and it's tough to steal against him. So he's a 2-arm. And that'll make, and Taveras is a C base stealer because he was caught so many times. 2-arm, the C2 is going to be fair. We're going to try it anyway. What the heck? 6, 12, so he doesn't get the jump. Alex Trevino next. Tough pitch. See what Alex can do with it. Not very much. Hits a ball to the ground, to the shortstop, Concepcion. Maybe a double play. And it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, 2 outs. Concepcion to Morgan to Dreesen. And it's Lee Mazzilli. Lee Mazzilli is the best batter for the Mets this season. It's worth taking a look at where he's at. Batting .331. The whole season he's been right at .330. The whole season. Okay, here goes. 11. That's wheelhouse. Wheelhouse for Mazzilli, and that's a 40. That's going to be a ground ball and through to, he's batting right-handed, left field. George Foster gets it in quickly. That's a single for Mazzilli, and Mazzilli's a threat to steal. We're going to see if he goes. 12, no, won't be going. Next is John Stearns, the cleanup batter. 7, in play, 47. And that's a ground ball to third. And Knight is going to go to Morgan for the force, and that retires the side. So the Mets pick up 2 hits, but failed to score. Go to top of the second. 1-0 Reds. Craig Swan on the mound for the tough pitch. 25, that's a strikeout. Dreesen down on strikes. Next is Ray Knight in play. 56. It's a fly ball, shallow right. Drifting over is the Met right fielder Danny Norman. He's there, makes the catch. Tough pitch. What can Geronimo do? Nothing. Strikes out. Curveball got him. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Craig Swan. Freddie Norman against Richie Hebner. Patient 76. And that's a fly ball, center field. Backing up is Geronimo, but he's got room. Makes the catch. Joel Youngblood next. Tough pitch. 55. That's a single. Line left field. And Foster plays it in on a hop. So Youngblood is also a threat to steal. Let's see if he goes a 4. He does. And he's a fair, and he's out. Thrown out by, gunned down by Bench. Gunned down by Bench 2. Let's see. Second base, out. Caught stealing. Who was up next? A righty, so that's going to be 2-4. And it's Danny Norman next. 2 outs now. Tough, 97. That's a fly ball, shallow left. In comes Foster, makes the catch, and that retires the side. No, 1-0 Reds in the top of the third here at Shea Stadium. In play, 30 to the pitcher, Fred Norman. Norman is a 5 batter. And that's popped up. Richie Hebner. Oh, I hit ground out. Let's try that again. Out, pop up. Hebner makes the catch. 1 away. It's in play, 0-6. And that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into the right field corner. Dan Norman after it, hustling around first and into second base with a stand-up double. It's Dave Collins. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Joe Morgan next. Patient 0-6. That's the base on balls. So runners on first and second here. 1 out. Dave Concepcion, the batter. That's a 4. That's in play. 82. Maybe just what the doctor ordered. It's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Let's see what the next roll is. It's a 6. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and the Mets are out of the inning. Taveras to Flynn to Stearns. And that retires the side. We go after 2.5. It's 1-0 Reds. We're playing payoff pitch. Continuing with our 1979 replay. This is game 125. Let's see. Tough pitch. And that's going to be an out. Fly ball center field. Running in is Geronimo. Makes the catch. Craig Swan. Craig Swan bats is a 3. Pitcher hitting card. And that's a 9. Tough 89. That's going to be a strikeout. And Frankie Taveras on an in-play 48 against a lefty. And that's popped up left side. Right there is Geronimo. I'm sorry, Concepcion makes the catch. 2 Latin players with long names. All right. Top of the fourth, 1-0 Reds. It's time to shuffle. Shuffle the cards every 3rd inning. Keep it random as possible. I'm getting better. I mean, as you can see, it took me a while to learn to shuffle, but now I'm playing. I picked up the fringe cards, so I have every single player. You know, I mean, when you buy payoff pitch, the set, it already comes with like 90% of the players. There's a few that have fewer than 20 at bats, that sort of thing, and you can order those in the same card stock. And basically, like I wouldn't try. I wouldn't try a season replay with any set, any tabletop game that doesn't include every player, doesn't give me access to have every single player. Just wouldn't do it. It's an extra headache for me. I don't want to deal with it. So if I'm going to play any season replays, it's going to be with, let's say right now, the ones I know that offer you every single player's payoff pitch, easy to get. And even easier is Status Pro. Status Pro is extremely easy to get. And it's $10. You get any season you want to play, $10, and it's a fun system. It's you know, it's deep. It's got it's detailed. You know, it flows. It's got everything. It's exciting. You know, so if there's a set that doesn't give me or makes me pay an inordinate amount of money to have every player by selling me extra players for $40 or $50 a set, I'm not going to go in that direction. There's no reason for that. So anyway, I just wanted to speak out about that. So I know, you know, I would not do a season replay with a set of cards where I have to have my you know, additional technology to bring up cards I just wouldn't do it. You know, I'd still play it. I have no problem playing a short series, but not a whole season where you run into situations where towards the end of the season they may have 3 or 4 players that are not carded on each team, and now what do? You got to start you know, I've done that, and I've created cards, and I've done a lot of stuff, but I'm just not going in that direction. Anyway, it's George Foster here in the top of the 4th inning against Craig Swan. It's 1-0 Reds, and that ball is swung on and in play, 95, and that's going to be fly to left field. Youngblood is there, makes the catch. Foster's out. 1 away, Johnny Bench, the batter. And that's a tough pitch to Bench. And Bench not going to do very much with that pitch. And he grounds it to shortstop. Frankie Taveras up with it, fires to first, and gets Bench easily. 2 down. Danny Dreesen, he's 0 for 1. He struck out his first at bat. He's swung on, and that's in play. And that's through for a base hit. So Danny Dreesen's on with a single, pulled one into right field through the hole. Danny Dreesen could steal. He had 11 stolen bases. A 7, he won't be going. Doesn't have to jump there. Ray Knight, the next batter, he's 0 for 1. He flied out. That's a tough pitch. Can Knight do anything with it? And he swings through it. Strike 3. That retires the side. Freddie Norman. Alex Trevino. And that's wheelhouse pitch right down the middle. And that's going to be lined, base hit, center field, frozen rope to Geronimo. And Trevino, not really a threat to steal, only had 2 stolen bases. I'm not going to worry about that. Lee Mazzilli next. That's a tough pitch. And Mazzilli grounds it out to the second baseman. Can they pick up a double play on this? It looks like they will. It's 4. Oh no, Mazzilli beats it out. 4-6 to throw to first, not in time, so it's a fielder's choice. Wow. Mazzilli really got down that line. I was surprised by that. And he's always a threat to steal, so we're going to check and see. 5 or less, and it's an 8, so he does not go. Mazzilli's on the first, 1 out, excuse me, and John Stearns the batter. Fred Norman, the lefty, on the mound. That's a tough pitch. See what John Stearns can do with it. 45. And that's going to be a sharp liner that drops in front of Foster. And runners advance 1 base, so Mazzilli has to stop at second. He waited up to see if that was going to drop in. So runners on first and second for the Mets. Got a little something going here. And it's Richie Hebner, the left-hander. Left-handed hitting third baseman, also plays first. That's a in play 77, that's not going to do it. In play 77 is a fly ball, shallow center. Geronimo has it in his sights and makes the catch. Everybody holds up there. And it's Joe Youngblood. Youngblood's 1 for 1. He singled the first inning. That's in play, 45. And that's a ground ball to Dreesen at first. Flips to Norman. And that retires the side. 3-1 if you're scoring at home. Mets leave 2, score none. At the end of 4, it's 1-0 Reds. This game is played August 25th, I believe. Let me double check. This game is played. Yep, August 25th, 1979. I think Craig Swan have a little one of these wrappers. Craig Swan wrapper. Do I have any? Oh, and I have a Johnny Bench wrapper. Look at that. Johnny Bench is playing in this game. Who else do I have? I gotta fix that. I want to fix that up a little bit. Don't want it folded like that. Who else do I have here? Craig Swan. There he is. That's his. Pete Rose is not playing in this game. Oh, in '79 he's on the Phillies. Yeah, that's a Philly cap. It's on the Phillies. That's about it. For this game, I got those two players. These are wrappers from '79. I bought these, the whole set. Pretty cool. Topps bubblegum wrappers. The stick of gum was in these, and then I guess they had baseball cards in there. Pretty cool memories for any of you guys that remember those. So we'll put when Johnny Bench comes up, we'll try to remember to put his little caricature up. I like those. Pretty funny. Craig Swan is. I will leave his out. Let's put his somewhere here. Put his there. Craig Swan is on the mound. All right. Cesar Geronimo in the top of the 5th. And that's in play. And that's going to be lined into the gap. And cutting it off is Mazzilli. And Geronimo's going for second. Here's the throw, and he is safe with a double. Leadoff double for Cesar Geronimo. He's on at second base. Looks like Norman's going to bunt. And what kind of bunter is Norman on his card? You can see right up here where it says batting, he's a D bunter. So we're going to look in the bunt section. We're going to pull a card. A D bunter, he misses. So when he misses, I believe that's... the second miss is a strikeout, I believe. First miss, I guess it's just a miss. I can't remember that. Let me just double check that rule. Bunting. Can't remember that rule. And I don't know if a miss is a. That may be. Bunt. Okay. Let's see. Fly out. Infield play. Sacrifice bunt. A miss. Batter misses pitch. On second miss, batter strikes out. There you go. Problem solved. So we go again here. See what happens. Squares away. And catcher picks it up. Fires to Flynn. Trevino to Flynn, and moving to third is Geronimo. So that's going to be an out, sacrifice bunt. It's going to be 2-4, and runner advances. So now the Mets are going to bring the infield in. They're down 1-0. They don't want it to become 2-0. Doug Collins, who's 2 for 2. Here's the pitch from Swan. That's in play. Let's see what kind of number we pull here. In play 71. We may get lucky here. In play 71. It's going to be a ground ball second base. So we're going to look at the bases not loaded. Ground ball second base. We're going to have to pull a card. 2-5 batter out. 6-8 runner at third out at home. 9-10. We don't want to roll a 9-10. That's for sure. And we get an 8. So runner out at home. 4-2. Big mistake by Geronimo trying to score on Doug Flynn's arm. Big mistake. So that's going to be, you know what? That's going to be a fielder's choice. And it's going to be 4-2. Runner out at home. See, it picked off, tagged out, but then it asked me again. That's why one part I don't agree with. All right. And the runner's on at first. So Dave Collins on at first on the fielder's choice. There's 2 outs now. Dave Collins is going to try to go. And that's a 9. He does not. Joe Morgan now, the batter, who's 1 for 1 and a walk. Doubled and walked. It's a 5. That's in play. In play 27. And that's right out of hit range because he only batted .254 versus righties. And that's going to be lined and caught by Taveras. Timed his jump perfectly. And that's the 3rd out. So, the Mets and Swan were in a little bit of trouble there. But they worked their way out of it. Fred Norman on the mound. It's 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that ball is swung on and put in play. And that's going to be pulled down the line. Gets by the third baseman, Knight, into the corner. And in with a leadoff double is Danny Norman. Doug Flynn is up next. Here's the pitch to Flynn. That's a tough pitch. See if Flynn can do anything about that. Let me just check one thing. Yeah. Tough 35. Oh! Let's double check that. 6 is tough 35. It's going to be grounder up the middle and through to center field. Runner advances one base. Unfortunately, he only advances one base, but that could have been a tie game right there. So now we got a situation. We got runners on first and third, and Craig Swan is the batter. Do we let him bat? The infield is going to be brought in, even though it's a little bit early for all that. But I guess, you know, in these low-scoring games like this in '79, I have a tendency to do that for some reason. Wouldn't normally do it if I had a bunch of home run hitters. I would just kind of let them tie the game and just get out of try to avoid a big inning. He's a three hitter. 1 to 16 in the wheelhouse. Nothing in tough. 1 to not very good. Kind of a bunter. He's a C bunter. So let's try to bunt Flynn. Dan Norman's going to hold. Flynn is we're gonna try to move Flynn to second base to avoid the double play. And it's a pop-up. It is a pop-up to the catcher. Oh, to the first baseman, excuse me. So it's 1 out. Everybody holds. Frankie Taveras now. Infield is going to be in. 5. Patient. Patient 60. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And will we challenge Collins' arm? We may challenge Collins' arm. He may have a throw to the plate here, which, let me show you. He has a right field arm of 4. Wow. How does he... I didn't expect him... I thought he was kind of a speedster. In left field, he's a 7, but in right field, he's a 4. Center field here, he's a 6. So I would need 4 or less, and that's just not going to happen. We're not going to be able to go. That's going to be out number 2. So fly ball right field by Frankie Taveras, but they're going to hold up Danny Norman, who's not really a speedster to begin with, at third. So there's 2 outs now, and it's Alex Trevino. Here's the pitch from Norman. That's a tough pitch on 11. That's a swing and a miss, and strikes out Trevino to end the inning. Wow, Mets lost a huge opportunity there. Freddie Norman comes up huge after the Mets get first and third and nobody out. So we go to the top of the 6th now. Craig Swan is back on the mound. All right, that's swung on and put into play, and that's through for a base hit. So Dave Concepcion is on. He had 19 stolen bases. He may go, but no, he doesn't get the jump. George Foster in play, 36, and that's popped up. And Trevino throws his mask away. Makes the catch. 1 away. Johnny Bench now. Where's Johnny Bench? There he is. Look at this. Johnny Bench is up. Hey, Johnny Bench. Boom. What does it say about Johnny Bench here? Johnny was NL's MVP in 70 and 72. Holds NL mark for home run by catchers. Wow. NL MVP in 70, 72. The catcher must keep both feet in the catcher's box until the pitch is thrown. All right. Johnny Bench at the plate. 1-0 Reds. Top of the 6th. Concepcion is on at first. 1 out. The pitch from Swan. It's a 5. That's in play. 61. In play 61. It's a fly ball. Shallow right. Sliding over is Norman towards the line. Makes the catch. Back to first is Concepcion. That's it for Johnny Bench. Dan Dreesen, lefty versus righty here. 5 in play, 69. Wow, we pull a lot of in plays. 69. It's gonna be ground ball shortstop. Taveras flips to Flynn, and that retires the side. 6-4 for the force. And the A's lead one. The Reds lead one, score none. And at the end of 5.5, 1-0 Reds. Lee Mazzilli's going to lead it off against Fred Norman. That's ball's in play. And it's popped up. And Johnny Bench flips his mask. Waiting, makes the catch. 1 down. John Stearns. Tough pitch, see what he can do with it. Tough 21's a strikeout. 2 out. Richie Hebner. Ballpark. 66. In play. 31. And the 31's popped up. Left side. Third baseman Knight. In foul ground makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for the Mets. Fred Norman had 5 complete games, so we won't be in a rush to pull him. But it's time to shuffle. Top of the 7th inning. I like when Demo Dave was doing the taking me out to the ball game. That was pretty cool. At the 7th inning stretch, at the end of the top of the 7th, I liked he was doing that. Replay Baseball online does that. You can get Replay Baseball for free version, so you can test it out. It's a great little game, a lot of fun. And that's where I get my sound effects from. It has great sound effects. It has the best crowd noise anywhere. There was a really good one for a long time on YouTube, but I think they pulled it off. All right, so we're ready to go here in the top of the 7th. It's 1-0 Reds. We got a pretty good ball game going here. Replaying the 1979 Mets season. I got a set of cards with all the Mets. Let's. All right. Got my cat Blue walking around. Let's see if I have my my card somewhere where I can show you what I got. Let's see. I have them somewhere here. There's so much stuff all over the place. Believe it or not, I ordered it yesterday. I don't see the cards. I don't know why I don't see the cards. Huh. It's weird. Do not see the cards anywhere. I have a baseball card set for the Mets, 1979 team. Don't have them anywhere here. That's strange. Okay, so we're going to keep on playing. Craig Swan, the pitch to Ray Knight. Ray Knight's 0 for 2. He flied out and struck out. And that ball is swung on by Knight and put into play, 92. And that's going to be grounded to shortstop, Taveras. Taveras to his left. Picks it up, fires the first, and gets Knight by half a step. It's 1 down. Cesar Geronimo, he's 1 for 2. He struck out and doubled. That's Patient. A Patient 74. Is a fly ball, right center field, excuse me. Mazzilli's over, and he's got room. 2 down. That's swung on and put in play. 25. This is Fred Norman. In play 25. He is a 5, and that's going to be line and caught by Taveras for the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down for Craig Swan. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Freddie Norman pitching to Youngblood, Norman, and Flynn. That's Patient 09, and that's going to be a base on ball. So Youngblood walks. Let's see if he goes. 4, no, he does not go. So Youngblood doesn't get the jump. Danny Norman now. And that's a tough pitch, 54. See if Norman can do anything with that. And he strikes out. Looking. Doug Flynn next. It's in play 47. The cat's knocking stuff over. In play 47. And that's going to be a ground ball 3rd base. This may be a double play. It's going to be 8 and 8. So anything less than an 8, it's an 8. So it's got to be, oh man, I don't remember. Is it an 8 or less, or is it less than an 8? And I'm not even sure if I can find that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find that. You know what? I'm going to say it's 8 or less. 8 or less is going to be a double play. Oh wait, actually yesterday I was packing stuff and I found the rules. I found the rules and I put them in the box. Let's see what it says. So this gives us all a chance to refresh on these rules. You'll see where it says double play, stealing, final thoughts, how to read the card, wild pitches, stamina, pickoffs, sacrifice bunts, dice, base running, double play. Whenever there is a blah blah blah. If the two is higher than one or both of the DP ratings, consult the out chart to determine if the batter is out. Okay, so possible double play has occurred on a ground ball is equal or less than both the catcher and the pitcher's DP. Okay, so it's double play has occurred. It's a 5-4-3 round the horn. Double play. Glad I checked, right? So double play, and that inning ending double play. All right, Craig Swan. Item was. All right, here goes Doug Collins. Collins is 2 for 3. In play 31. That's going to be a line base hit single. Collins is going to try to steal. 6 does not go, does not get the jump. Joe Morgan now. 6, that's in play. 95. That's going to be a fly ball, shallow right. Danny Norman is there. Makes the catch. 1 away. Concepcion, that's a tough pitch. Tough 83. That's be a ground ball shortstop. This could be a double play, and it is 6-4-3 double play. It's an 8 there, and it's an 8 there. So 6-4-3 double play. And the Reds are retired. Leading it off here in the bottom of the 8th, it's a 1-0 game. Leading it off for the Mets looks like it's Craig Swan, and we're going to have to pull Craig Swan, bring in a pinch hitter. And it's a lefty on the mound, so we're going to bring a righty in here to hit. And I believe that this game sees Elliot Maddox come back for the first time after being out for about 2 months. Let me double check that. Elliot Maddox pinch hits. So about time. Elliot Maddox is back after 2 months that I haven't seen him in the lineup. I use actual lineups. So I guess that's, and he did have 100, almost 200, well, 224 at bats for the Mets. So he did play, so he's probably going to play from now till the end of the season. So their lineup is going to change already. Maybe that'll help him win a couple more games. Ellie Maddox is leading it off. Here goes Fred Norman, 7. That's in play 58 against a lefty. Won't do it. It's a fly ball to right. Next is Frankie Taveras. Taveras is 1 for 3. He singled flat out twice. Ballpark. 63, that's going to be in play. 69, that's an out. Ground ball, second base. Morgan, 2 away. And it's Alex Trevino now. In play 35. And that's going to be grounded up the middle and through for a single. So Trevino's on at first. He won't be, let's see, he's a good base runner, just won't be stealing. Here's the pitch to Lee Mazzilli. That's tough pitch 21. That's a strikeout. That Mets go down. Leave 1-0, top of the 9th. It's going to be George Foster, Johnny Bench, and Dan Dreesen. So that's two righties. Two righties there. And Andy Hassler pitches in this game, but he's a lefty. Go for is Reardon. Jeff Reardon. Wow, I haven't seen him in a while. Man, he's probably another one that went down with injury. So he's back. That's a good thing. Or he's been brought up. I guess maybe he was in the minors. So I haven't seen him for months. He actually pitched in 18 games. Pitched earlier in the season a little bit. But then, poof, I never saw him again. All right, so Jeff Reardon is in the game. And he's going to be batting 9th. Even though he won't get to bat. So Reardon. All right, here goes. Facing George Foster. 9, that's defense. Defense 58. Now that could be something. Could be something. Error shortstop, Taveras. Taveras' error rating is a 3. And that's going to be 1 to 36, but we rolled a 79. No, we rolled a 58, so that's going to be outside of error range. Kind of an out. It's just a ground ball out. Taveras fires to first. Throws out Foster. 1 away. Johnny Bench now. Tough pitch by Reardon. But that's a single on Bench's card. So Muscle's a Texas leaguer. And Bench is on with a single. At a 272 against righties. Good ball player, that Bench. Won't be running. Yeah, only 4 stolen bases. Dan Dreesen is next. That's patient. Patient 23. That's going to be a base on balls. So here's Reardon. Reardon got himself into a little bit of trouble here in the top of the 9th. Mets don't want any more scoring. They don't want to have to come back any more than 1 run if that's going to even be possible. 11. Tough pitch. 27. That's a strikeout. Strikes out Knight. Nice curveball by Jeff Reardon. He has a future for sure. I can tell. And now it's Cesar Geronimo, the lefty. And back during these days, you know, you wouldn't do a lot of lefty-righty all the time. It wouldn't be as much as you do today. It was a lot less. I mean, I've seen lefties go 3-4 innings and righties go 3-4 innings, and it's Hassler pitches in this game, for example, and Hassler comes in for 3 innings. Lefty who comes in for 3 innings. Reardon came in for 1. Actually got the loss in this game. All right, so first and second, Cesar Geronimo. Let's go. Here's the pitch from Jeff Reardon. 9, that's defense. That's trouble. An 11, oh my goodness. So that's either a range hit or an error of some kind. It's going to be an error second base. See what kind of an error it is. Hope it's not a 2-base error, and it is a 2-base error. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. That's going to score Bench. So Flynn gets one and throws it away. Exactly how that happens is beyond me. Flynn is like right next to, I guess it was a ball that was hit up the middle, and Flynn went away, dove for it, reached for it, got up and threw it over Stern's head. It went into the crowd. 1 run is going to score here on that error. So it's second base error, I guess, is what they're asking for. And that's on the error. He scores on the error. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. All right, let's try this again. First base, error. Second base, boom. What happens? He scores. He advances to third on the same error. And he moves to second on the same error. There you go. So let's see how it reads right now. Cesar Geronimo reaches base due to an error on second baseman Doug Flynn. Johnny Bench scores. Dan Dreesen advances to third on the error. Okay, I want to go back because I wanted to read exactly what happened. So Cesar Geronimo grounds into second base, and there's an error. Second base, right? And then it tells me what happens to the runner on that was on second. He's going to score on the same error. And then what happens to the runner on first base? He's going to go to third on the same error. And then what's going to happen to Geronimo? He's going to go to second on the same error. Now it reads, Geronimo reaches base due to an error. Johnny Bench scores on the error by second baseman. Okay, there he goes. Dan Dreesen advances to third on the error. Perfect. And now it's going to be Freddie Norman, and we're going to let Freddie Norman go. I'll let him bat 2 outs here. I'll let him try to finish this game. 5. That's ballpark. 73. That's in play. 95. 95. In play. That's an out range. That's shallow left field. Youngblood right there puts it away, and that retires the side. But the Reds pick up a big run on the Doug Flynn error for a key insurance run, which is really what they needed. And it's going to be Johnny Stearns. Fred Norman's going to try to go the complete game. You don't see those very often. See him a lot more in 79 than you do today. But today, the complete game is akin to the to almost a no-hitter, practically, or a one-hitter, or a two-hitter, man, when you see a complete game. Anyway, all right, Fred Norman to John Stearns. Here's the pitch. That's in play, 34. Lefty, nope. That's popped up, left side. And that's Knight. Calls for it, makes the catch. 1 away. Richie Hebner. In play again, 30 this time. In play, 30. Nope, not even close. That's popped up, this time to the right side. First baseman there makes the catch. And it's Joe Youngblood, who's 1 for 2. 2 out, bottom of the 9th. That's a 5. That's patient, 16. And Youngblood's going to walk. All right, keeps the Mets' hopes alive. And Danny Norman, who's got good power. Norman versus lefties, 1 to 44, has a home run. So if we can get ballpark wheelhouse, we need an 11, or we need a ballpark 12 or 2. See what happens. Oh, a 10. That's close. In play. Well, that'll still work, but not for a home run. 27. In play, 27 versus a lefty, and that's going to be a line drive into center field. And Youngblood's going to hustle over to third base. So Norman singles to left, and now we're going to go into the bullpen. See who. Doug Bear, I think, was Doug Bear was their closer. Paul Blair, Doug Bear. You know what? We're gonna Doug Bear. That's 16 saves, so he'll do. Doug Bear's coming in. Now to be straight, I don't do a lot of defensive changes, although maybe I should. I mean, I know that Paul Blair is a great defender. He's a C range, and Paul Blair actually came into this game for the Reds. To play center field for Geronimo. Let's compare Geronimo's card to Blair's card. Blair's a C, and Geronimo is a B in center field. So I'm not going to switch him out there. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, okay. First and third. But you know what? I'm going to do it just because they did it. For whatever reason, they did it, so I'm going to do it. All right. Paul Blair is in center field. Just for the fun of it. So new center fielder. I'm going to pull Geronimo out. So for whatever reason, they put Blair in there. Okay, and it's Doug Bear now. He's on the mound. He was 11-7 with a 4.29 ERA. And he's going to be facing Doug Flynn. And you know what? I normally don't pinch hit for Doug Flynn, but in this case, he batted .236. I'm going to try to pinch hit for him. Now, Pat Zachary. Okay. I'm going to bring in one of my favorite players of all time, just because he's my favorite player. Where is he? There he is, Eddie Kranepool. Boom. Left-handed hitting Eddie Kranepool is going to pinch hit for Doug Flynn. How do you like them apples? First and third. We need a double from Ed Kranepool here. Here's the pitch. 10. That's patient. Patient 60 against a righty. Nope. That's a fly ball, left field. Shallow left field. Running in is Foster, and he gets there. And that's the ball game. Oh. Let me undo, because I don't think I wrote in who caught the ball. Fly out, left field. Nah, it is. Now the game calculates all the stats for you. And then all I got to do is, exit out, and then it lets me put in the winning pitcher, Fred Norman. Save is going to go to Bear. And then it's going to go losing pitcher. Unfortunately, Craig Swan loses another one. And that's going to be it for this game. Let me do the line score. Was Reds 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. The Mets, no runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, and 8 left on base. I'll give you some stats for the team. Go to team manager, go to the Mets, and they'll give you some stats. Let's look at some stats for the Mets here. Let's go to pitching. And okay, I'm already there. All right, so pitching, let's see what Craig Swan has an ERA of 3.22. In reality, he was at 3.29. He's got 215 innings pitched. What did he do in reality? That's a good question. Let's see. In reality, he had 251 innings pitched, and he had a 3.29 ERA. In reality, he was 14. Oh, well, look at that. In reality, he was 14 and 13. In our replays, 11 and 11. That's interesting. Let's look at the Ks. Craig Swan had 130 Ks. In reality, he had 145. Wow. So we're really close to where he was. Pretty intense here. The one that's underperformed in my replay is a guy named Kevin Coble, who did decently. He's been doing a lot better lately, but he had a tough time at the beginning of the season. But he's improved dramatically, and he is he's about a run over what his actual ERA was. Pat Zachary is almost, not Pat Zachary, Pete Falcone is almost, well, actually he's a little bit better than what his ERA was. But he still has a horrific a one-loss record like he did in reality. I think he was 6 and 14. In our replays, 3 and 16. So he's probably pitched, he had bad luck. I mean, the Mets don't score a lot of runs. So who else do we have here? Pretty realistic, man. Pretty realistic. Let me go to the batting. Lee Mazzilli was their Mets' best hitter, and he's their best hitter here. Steve Henderson was up there. He hasn't been around for a while. He's been injured. Frankie Tavares batting 251. I think he batted 260. And everybody else is pretty much in line. Pretty intense. I don't see anybody that really had a great season that's not, having a great season, where there are only like 1 or 2 players that had a decent season. And the home runs, John Stearns and Lee Mazzilli are tied for the lead in home runs, with Youngblood having 10. So he's in 3rd place. RBI totals, Mazzilli has 54. Stearns and Montanez each have 50. Doug Flynn has 53. Yeah, he's been a guy who's really hitting the clutch well. He's got 17 doubles. He's, I guess, 4th in on the team in doubles, but he's had a lot of clutch hits, and I've noticed that. Anytime you had 2nd and 3rd, or a runner on 2nd, runner on 3rd, he's come through with a hit. So that he's got 53 RBIs, and he's 2nd on the team in RBIs, which is pretty intense since he bats 8th and's batted 8th, and he's got a batting average of 198. In reality, I think he batted. Let's see what he batted. Get on my way. In reality, he batted 259, 236, about 240, about 245 in reality. And so anyway, that's it for today's game. Mets lose another one, unfortunately. I have one more in this 3-game set. This is game 2 of a 3-game set. I'm going to play that offline. I want the cat to damage my little labels here. Alright, so take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Combat Painter signing off.